Thaler in Basel opened in 1976 and which underwent a splendid looking renovation in 2018, as I'm sure you can see. Very famous as the home of the Swiss indoors ATP tennis tournament. A gentleman called Roger Federer has won that 10 times. Local player, seems to have done quite well in his career. Won that and everything else. Now then, let's introduce the competitors in the men's still rings competition. Salvatore Maresca making his European Championship debut, the third strongest in qualification. Eleftherios Petrunius, the top qualifier, one of the very finest, a four-time European champion, the reigning Olympic champion too. Igor Radivilov, gymnast who has had enormous success on the still rings over the years. Van Davtyan of Armenia, the second strongest in qualification and a silver medalist in 2019. Ibrahim Cholak, the reigning world and European champion, joint seventh strongest in qualification. He's got some way to go. Also joint seventh strongest in qualification was Nikita Nagorny of the Russian Federation. Vincent Herk of Austria, the sixth strongest in qualification, the European Championship silver medalist in Mersin last year. Artur Avatisyan of Armenia, the fourth strongest in qualification and the reigning world universities champion on the still rings. Indeed, Avatisyan, the gentleman who beat Ibrahim Cholak in 2019, shortly before winning that World University title. Jonna Adlerteg of Sweden is the sixth strongest qualifier for the women's uneven bars competition. She's already won a couple of European honours. Vladislava Urazova of the Russian Federation, the second strongest qualifier in her senior international debut. Emily Morgan of Great Britain was fourth in the all-around competition and the eighth strongest in the qualification process. Filipa Martins of Portugal, the joint fourth strongest in qualification. Portugal has never won a medal in the Artistic Gymnastics European Championships. Angelina Melnikova, the top qualifier with a superb 14.625 score. Alice D'Amato of Italy, the ninth strongest in qualification with 13.966. Her teammate Georgia Vila, the seventh strongest in qualification, also with that score of 13.966. And Elisabeth Seitz of Germany, the fifth strongest in the all-around competition and the third best performer in the uneven bars qualification with 14.233. She was a bronze medalist in 2017. The start list for the men's still rings competition sees the European champion on 4 occasions, Eleftherios Petrunius, goes second in the order as the top qualifier. Van Davtyan goes fourth. He was the second strongest in qualification. We start with Salvatore Maresca, the third strongest in qualifying. The women's uneven bars begins with Jonna Adlerteg of Sweden, the sixth strongest in qualification. We then see the second strongest, Vladislava Urazova. Angelina Melnikova is the top qualifier. She goes fifth in the order. We finish with Elisabeth Seitz, the third strongest in Sweden, sixth strongest in qualification.
And just
Jonna,
double layout dismount and just stuck cold. What a wonderful routine from beginning to end.
They seem reasonably pleased with that display from Salvatore Maresca. We begin the women's uneven bars competition with Jonna Adlerteg of Sweden, sixth strongest in qualification with a score of 14. She is a veteran performer on this apparatus, still only 25 and twice a silver medalist.
Starts off with a big release skill called a shang and just a little flicker of leg separation, leg bending on that pack salto. That full twisting pack salto, the hardwash. Does a classic Hindor to get, classic Shapashnikova to get back up to the high bar.
Oh, well recovered, Jonna Adlerteg. There were moments in that routine where it looked as though she was at risk of coming off the apparatus, but she's a steely and highly experienced competitor on the uneven bars and really rescued that, actually.
She did a very nice job of hanging on, quite literally, to this routine. And the way to get a big score on uneven bars these days is through big release skills, and she certainly did that. And also through combinations of release skills and transitions, release on the high bar, transition flight back down to the low, and immediately another transition back up to the high bar. That's what we're going to be seeing from the medal contenders in this uneven bars final. Dismount, double layout.
The gymnast whose all-around performance at the World Championships in 2019 secured her a berth at the Tokyo Olympic Games. Salvatore Maresca has a 14.9 score. He's had a smile during a time of consternation when thinking about his path to the future, whatever that might be, whether it involves the Olympic Games or not. He has just the most remarkable geometry in what he does on the still rings. His shoulder presentation is level. And as you say, Blythe, the flaring out of the fingers. It doesn't just say I'm in control, it says I'm in more control than anyone else that does this.
Very nice control as well on this double twisting, double tuck dismount. Small hop back, but he has set the standard not just on the European level, but on the world level for so many years.
This is a gymnast who took a 3-year break from the sport due to fatigue when he was a teenager. Came back. Great message for young athletes. You can do that. 13.666 for Adlerteg. Now here is an athlete that it is most exciting to get the chance to see. 16-year-old making her senior international debut, Vladislava Urazova of the Russian Federation, the second strongest in qualification. She's the reigning national champion on the uneven bars.
Very exciting gymnast on all apparatus. We didn't get to see her in the all-around final because she finished lower than 2 of her teammates, but she had a very high placement. Does really clean gymnastics. And one of the things that sets her apart is that on this event she's very good at finishing her pirouettes right on top of the bar. And pirouettes need to be finished within 10 degrees of vertical to avoid deductions, and just has a smooth, silky swing. Great combinations too.
That's an accomplished beginning to her senior international career. Vladislava Urazova. She was part of the Russian team that took the silver medal at the Junior European Championships in Glasgow in 2018.
This is a move that was originated by Victoria Komova, also a terrific uneven bar swinger for Russia for many years. Just such smoothness in her work. Dismount full twisting double tuck in combination will get her some difficulty points.
This is going to be a big number. Oh, it's going to be a big number. 15 points who you just trust to step up and to deliver in a major competition.
Another look at that. One of the highlights of the routine is Jonassen straight to inverted cross. Great angle on this planche. gymnast demonstrate swing to handstand at least once in the routine. He shows giant into very nice double twisting double tack.
The next to go, exchanging solidarity with the gymnast who has just gone into the lead, is Vladislava Urozova. 14.333. She occupies the provisional gold medal position with many competitors to come. Down a little bit from qualification, just by shy of a couple of tenths. To Emily Morgan of Great Britain, who was the 8th strongest in qualification with a score just below the 14 mark. 4th in the all-around yesterday.
Heike Jaeger gets her into this routine. And we'll see here a big sequence. Reaching to pack. This is the Maloney transition, and another in combination directly to the Bahardwaj. And finally, a Van Leuven. Unusual dismount coming up here. Toe on, front with a half.
We've spoken at length of the feeling of calmness that one gets when one watches Emily Morgan, when one talks to Emily Morgan. She's a gymnast whose personality and attitude seems to come across in the gymnastics that she produces.
Precise, deliberate, and so calm in all of her work.
And as we've already seen so far today, it's a good day to be precise, deliberate and calm. Not that there's any day in gymnastics where it isn't a good day to be precise, deliberate and calm, but it particularly seems to be the case today that some competitors who don't necessarily have enormous difficulty by comparison are delivering the execution, and Morgan had a 5.8 difficulty in qualification, the second lowest of all applicable qualifiers. Igor Radivillov with 14.666 goes into the bronze medal position. Gymnast who won the title in Moscow in 2013. To elegance to the work that he produces on this apparatus.
He really does, and he's got so much style, especially with the fingers flared out. That doesn't get you anything in difficulty, but it seems to be a mark of honor amongst some of the best gymnasts that they can do that.
He's one of those athletes who, when he's in a strength position, he's got this look of a statue about him. He's really frozen, his face doesn't move. Some competitors, including the gentleman we're going to see next, will flash you a little cheeky grin during those strength holds. Davtyan just keeps himself highly composed, and it has been a very fine day for the Davtyan family already. Can he join his sibling? Emily Morgan picks up a score of 14.1. She's in the silver medal position. Now then, Filipa Martins of Portugal, the joint 4th strongest in qualification. She has a lovely routine, and she's a gymnast who, at 25, just seems to be getting better and better and better.
She has a great combination in this routine. Comes up after her first release. This is a Hindorf. And now she'll do it again with a half twist to regrasp right into an Ezova.
It's such a difficult skill, isn't it? Such a difficult sequence.
It is such an unusual and highly difficult sequence. So hard to master.
Calmly, she goes about reacquainting herself with the apparatus.
She has impressed everyone with the composition of this routine. And with her form and style, repeats the Ezova. Toe Stalder full through to Maloney, through to Pack Salto.
Sometimes when the gymnast loses their grip on the apparatus once, it can lead to a little bit of a cascade. Just set something in context for Felipe Martin. She's qualified for the Olympic Games courtesy of her excellent performance at the World Championships in 2019.
And she has done this routine successfully, beautifully even, twice already here in Basel. And this could be one of the big routines of the Olympic Games. Just a matter of refinement.
We'll see more of her. We'll see much more of Felipe Martins. She is heading to the Olympic Games in Tokyo. Not her day today here in Basel, but it has been overall her week in Basel. She has performed well.
And just catches this Hindorf half, unfortunately. Not in a good position to be able to get the swing that she needed to do the release. And if you're a little bit off on those, it's really hard to make it work.
I mean, when you look at that replay again, she did unbelievably to get as far as she actually did in almost making that connection.
She did.
Graduate of sports science from the University of Porto. She has aspirations to go into coaching and teaching when she retires. Yes. No doubt, though, that Čolak is one of the serious contenders for glory in the summer. He's already assured himself of a qualification place at the Olympic Games.
There's a Yamawaki through to Jonassen. Combination used by a lot of the ring specialists, and he connects it to a Maltese cross. The iron cross.
Into the Čolak.
Into the Čolak. And double front blind landing.
Qualified teacher from Ege University. Felipe Martins scores 11.333. She's in fourth position at the halfway mark of the competition led by Russia's Vladislava Urazova. Can her teammate Angelina Melnikova change things? 14.625 in qualification, the best that we saw. However, in the all-around final, problematic.
Well, intrigue right here. This is where it went a bit wrong for her in the all-around final, but when it goes right, this is a gorgeous routine. In-bar blind through to the Pike Jaeger. That's what she missed in the all-around final. No problems today.
As you said, when it goes right, boy does it go right, and it went right there. Angelina Melnikova. A wonderful display, a certainly contending display. And it is a stylish routine to witness.
Oh, it is. And what she does very well are these in-bar skills where the toes come near the bar, don't actually hit the bar, and she swings out of them. And she's got some really glorious combinations in this routine as well, including this one into the dismount. Toe Stalder full to full twisting double tuck. This was her Pack Salto, which she connects. Toes go right back onto the bar. Back up to the high bar she goes. And this right up above the bar, finishing the twist. Excellent stuff.
For Ibrahim Čolak, he goes into the bronze medal position. 14.733 performance from him. Just doesn't matter what you throw at him. what challenge. It just seems to come through it. He so often looks as though he can't believe he's just done a bit of gymnastics.
He can do it all. The Jonasson into the Yamawaki. Rolls into an iron cross. You see how he is straining. He makes it look virtually effortless, but it's not. And this looked effortless too. Double twisting, double tuck, and bang, right on.
We'll allow him to feel tired for a moment. Seems fair after all that he's accomplished in the course of this competition. He's a man who looks ready for the challenge that awaits him. First place for Angelina Melnikova, 14.5. She goes into the lead ahead of her teammate Vladislava Urazova. On this occasion, a reverse from the all-around, where it is the more experienced gymnast who goes above their younger teammate. Melnikova has won 3 European Championship titles, yet to win on the uneven bar. She was the silver medalist in 2019, the bronze medalist in 2018. Alice D'Amato of Italy, 9th strongest in qualifying.
Smooth Maloney, uprise Kachev. Does very well to get her right hand around the bar on that Van Leuven. Scoots over to the side in order to do this really nice sequence of pirouettes into her dismount, double front.
Alice D'Amato, the 17-year-old who scored 13.966 in the qualification campaign. She was the bronze medalist at the European Championships in Szczecin in 2019, the last time she competed at the European Championships.
Catches this Kachev just a little bit close. You see the bent elbows. And then the right hand actually overshooting just a little bit, but she deals with it successfully. One of the trademarks of Italian uneven bars, these forward pirouettes. She does hers into the double front dismount, blind landing.
Part of that team that took the bronze medal for Italy at the World Championships. 15.033, right back in the day. 2014. It took so long for him to really break through to senior competition. It's really encouraging when you see a gymnast in their mid-20s start to produce their best ever work. We've seen that a lot at these championships. Really does get those knees tucked in nice and tightly.
It off with a full twisting double layout.
The problem is the kind of number that's needed now. It's 14.9 that occupies bronze medal position. It's going to be a really tight scrap to get in amongst the medals. Alice D'Amato has 13.7. She's in 4th place. She will not repeat that bronze medal from the European Championships in 2019. Strong display nonetheless. Italy's Giorgia Villa, 7th strongest in qualifying.
A big 4-element combination here. Kachev, pack salto, directly to the Maloney and a Bahardwaj. There's the Van Leuven. Like her teammate, the pirouettes. And full twisting double tuck. Stuck.
Absolutely stuck from Giorgia Villa. Silver medalist on the uneven bars at the Youth Olympic Games in Buenos Aires. And she was part of that Italian team that just made history and delighted people at the World Championships in 2019. Incredible bronze medal winning performance.
Handled the difficulty in this routine really well. We've seen some very nice, very calm work on the uneven bars. And this one of the highlights of the routine, full twisting, double tuck. Beautiful down to the toe point.
That's a quality display from Georgia Vila. Vincent Herg, 14.666 for him. Sixth position, just the performances that take down some of the best competitors. And this was strong.
Very strong work indeed. Nice combination of sort of a sequence where he did his strength elements and then another sequence where he did his swing elements. And he capped everything off with perhaps the best full twisting double layout dismount that we have seen. Straight as a pencil. And stuck.
Not surprised that he reacts in that way. That really is going to make things interesting. Nearly for Georgia Vila. Fourth position, a score of 14 for her, just a 10th behind Amelie Morgan. So as things currently stand in the women's uneven bars final, it is Melnikova, Urazova and Morgan, but coming up is one of the strongest on this piece, Elisabeth Seitz of Germany, third strongest in qualification.
Always a contender for medals on the uneven bars. Uprise Stalder Kachev. Oh.
Well, Elisabeth Seitz coming off the apparatus, and consequently the destination of the medals is likely to be set in stone now. But let us just take a moment to remind ourselves she finished 5th in the all-around competition yesterday. It was a superb display from the 27-year-old. Concludes the routine in the way that she intended to, but it was the earlier problem that has led to that reaction from Elisabeth Seitz.
Well, it was a great recovery. You could see just as she taps to handstand, there was a little tiny bit of a hesitation, and that might have thrown her timing off when it came to this pike Jaeger. But didn't she do well to recover and do the rest of the routine just as cleanly and smoothly as she always does it?
One would expect nothing less from a gymnast of the accomplishments of Elisabeth Seitz, 5 times a German all-around national champion and a top performer yesterday, was really in the discussion. Well, we're going to bring you confirmation of the score for Artur Avatisian in just a moment, but I think you can see there it is, 14.866. The reaction from Salvatore Maresca told you what you needed to, which is that he has made it onto the European Championship podium. Great display from Avatisian, though he was so close. 14.9 to 14.866, separating bronze from 4th place. The final standings in the men's still rings competition, with Italy's Salvatore Maresca taking a bronze medal in his maiden European Championship bow. Nikita Nagorny, the Russian Federation, takes the silver and proves he can hang up there with the still ring specialist. But it's Eleftherios Petrounias who is once again champion of Europe. You can't keep him down. Eleftherios Petronius, once again, continental champion. But my word, Nikita Nagorny showing what he's capable of on that apparatus too. Fifth time though that Petronius has been the champion of Europe. So we await clarification of the final standings in the women's uneven bars competition. The tough day for Elizabeth Seitz, 13.033 her score. But remember, if you will, just how well she performed in the all-around, finishing fifth yesterday. The classified results in the women's uneven bars competition: a bronze for Great Britain's Emily Morgan, a silver to Vladislava Urazova of the Russian Federation, and a gold medal to Angelina Melnikova of the Russian Federation. And she's just gone up by one level in each of the past three European